I'm John Hendricks. It's Friday, July 17th. Today, a sticking point.
We need to make sure that public spaces are available to the public, that families should not have to be concerned about needles in their parks and their playgrounds for their kids.
Why the City of Winnipeg is expanding its needle cleanup beyond parks. Also today, taking to the sky. City officials okay a multi-million-dollar package where downtown Winnipeg Skywalk is expanding. Plus, a long-awaited return. How Canada's national men's rugby team is gearing up for an exciting match right here in Winnipeg. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Marilee is away. The City of Winnipeg is taking more steps to remove discarded needles. They're expanding a program that removes needles from parks and will now cover other parts of the city as well. Joining me now live is CTV's Kimberly Rio. So Kimberly, what areas of the city could now be covered?
John, City Council approved a motion that will expand the program beyond city parks. It includes bus stops, transit shelters, riverbank walkways, the Skywalk, and other public spaces. The city says areas experiencing issues related to needles, drug paraphernalia, and biohazards will be zeroed in on. The motion called for a 5-month expansion of the proactive cleanup of needle debris and weapons in city parks initiative. The program was approved last year to improve public safety and limit exposure to biohazards.
We need to make sure that public spaces are available to the public, that families should not have to be concerned about needles in their parks and their playgrounds for their kids. People waiting for buses shouldn't have to put up with debris of needles laying or meth pipes, laying in the bus shelter. And so this is about taking the good work that has been done successfully, and reallocating some resources that are not being used currently and putting them to good use for the sake of the people of Winnipeg.
The motion also proposes that around $206,000 in funding, which had been approved for a 24/7 safe space program that closed, be rebudgeted for its expansion. A previous city report said the existing program helped in the removal of more than 6,000 needles and 177 weapons.
So Kimberly, do we know when this program is going to go into effect?
Yes, the mayor says expansion will begin immediately and run through the end of the year, but a report is expected in January.
All right, thanks, Kimberly. Winnipeg police have arrested 4 people, and they're looking for another man after 13 people had their catalytic converters stolen off their vehicles. Police say at the end of April, there was an uptick in catalytic converters being stolen. Now that caused more than $20,000 in damage. So officers began an investigation in May. Now with the help of video surveillance, police were able to identify suspects and in a number of people. 4 people between the ages of 36 and 51 have been arrested. They're all facing theft-related charges. Police are still looking for a 5th suspect. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs is offering its support to Shamattawa after the First Nation declared a state of emergency.
Right now, we are needing further supports to be directed to Shamattawa right now.
That call comes as Shamattawa First Nation deals with a growing hepatitis A outbreak. Hepatitis A is highly contagious, but is preventable through vaccination and public health and hygiene measures. The declaration was made to strengthen the public health response and ensure the community has the resources it needs.
There's so many different barriers to accessing, healthcare services, supports, especially being an isolated, remote First Nations community. So there's, more barriers that the community is currently facing in terms of preventative measures, vaccinations, needing more healthcare professionals in the community to support everyone right now.
AMC is calling for immediate emergency funding, additional healthcare personnel, supplies, and vaccinations. It also wants long-term investments in healthcare infrastructure, housing, clean water, and sanitation. As of July 5th, 867 hepatitis A cases have been reported in Manitoba. The bones of the new multi-million-dollar Sutton Place Hotel is rising in downtown Winnipeg, and the city is going to make it easier for people to access it once it opens. City Council has approved spending of up to $3 million to connect the hotel to the public Skywalk system. In 2018, City Council already approved a $2 million grant for public infrastructure for this hotel. The extra $1 million will come from a tax increment financing grant from the property taxes that will be generated by the hotel over roughly 5 years. The money, however, is conditional on matching support from the province. 4 people are facing charges after a man was attacked and dropped off in a wooded area. RCMP say a 19-year-old man was getting ready to leave the RM of Killarney Turtle Mountain area when he was attacked by several men. Police say he was wrapped in a blanket and had his ankles and hands duct taped before being hit with a stick and loaded onto an off-road vehicle. He was then left in a wooded area. The man was able to free himself and make it home. 4 suspects ranging in age from 16 to 31 are facing a number of charges, including forcible confinement and robbery. City Council has approved the mayor's motion to maintain Winnipeg's tree planting budget. The motion passed the city and it now will make it increase its debt capacity from higher water and waste revenue to cover the tree budget cut. The $1.2 million shortfall came after the province directed the city to divert the money to the Assiniboine Park Zoo for upgrades to the Journey to Churchill exhibit. Now, earlier this year, the city received an extra $48 million from water and waste revenue. Taylor Brock joins us now with the first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. And although the sky is less smoky here in Winnipeg, still quite a bit of smoke elsewhere in the province.
Absolutely, John. We are seeing, particularly in northern Manitoba, smoke from wildfires in that region, and northwestern Ontario are making an impact. I'll move to the side here to take a look at some severe weather going on right now. As you can see, that area in orange right along the Saskatchewan border for folks here in Manitoba on the side of Roblin and Swan River. That is because of a severe thunderstorm watch moving through this area. Actually, it's moving pretty fast at about 60 kilometers an hour with very strong winds of up to 110 kilometers an hour. Along with it, anywhere from 50 to 100 millimeters of rain could fall on this region. And if hail falls with it, it could actually be as large as anywhere from golf ball size to a tennis ball. Other areas could be seeing some heavy rain as well. However, not likely to be having that as severe of a windstorm. And as mentioned just a moment ago, yes, air quality is an issue continuing further north, really all the way up to the border here because of wildfires in the region, with that smoke coming from northwestern Ontario.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Currently, it is 26 degrees here in downtown Winnipeg, quite cloudy, feeling more like 33 with the humidity. With pressure rising, humidity is at 70%. One thing to note in traffic, starting at 6 o'clock tonight, northbound on Lajemodiere Boulevard. So between Marion and Dugald, it is going to be completely shut down due to construction. Again, 6 o'clock tonight, that's going to last until Monday morning rush hour.
People raising children in Manitoba will be getting a bit of a boost from the federal government. We'll have those details coming up next. Taking a look at the markets now, and crude oil added $3.50. The loonie closed the week at 71.36 cents U.S. Gold futures gained $26. The TSX lost 76 points, while the Dow Jones plunged 406. The Nasdaq dropped 361 points. Manitoba families may see a change in their Canada Child Benefit payment Monday. Starting this month, the federal government is increasing the monthly tax-free payment to help with the cost of raising children. Families can now receive up to $8,100 a year per child under the age of 6 to just under $6,900 per child ages 6 to 17. That's a bump of $160 and $135 respectively. Nearly 153,000 Manitoba families benefit from the payments. Ottawa recalculates benefit payments every January based on tax information from the previous year. Canada Child benefits are set to arrive for this month on Monday. The Assiniboine Park Zoo has said goodbye to its Sichuan takin named Panda. The zoo has announced that the animal was humanely euthanized earlier this week. His vet and animal care teams have been monitoring his mobility and well-being while treating arthritis and other chronic health conditions. They made the difficult decision to euthanize when it became clear that he could no longer be kept comfortable. Panda arrived at the zoo in 2018 when he was 2 years old. Canada's national men's rugby team is gearing up for an exciting World Rugby Nations Cup match. Canada held its final practice for its matchup against Zimbabwe right here in Winnipeg. The team says it's ready to show spectators what they're made of.
Yeah, exciting brand of rugby. It's Zimbabwe team, a team that's going to be expansive. They're going to be elusive. They're quick. And we think we're going to bring physicality towards that, and it's going to just be an exciting day, right?
The event also marks the first international rugby match to be played in the city in 33 years. And there will be plenty of action for rugby fans to delight in. The day features a doubleheader. Tonga will take on Portugal at 3:45 p.m. at Princess Auto Stadium, and Canada will kick off at 7. NASA has just discovered a new planet. The hidden giant Exoplanet is about 63 light years away within the intensely studied Beta Pictoris star system. It's estimated to be at least 2 times the mass of Jupiter, and it features the widest orbit of the 3 known giant planets in its system. The team that discovered it said they weren't actually looking for a new planet. They were just trying to understand one that they already knew existed when a signal appeared. This weekend's FIFA World Cup final is a matchup that for some feels like a passing of the torch. Messi, one of the greatest players that the sport has ever seen, will face Lamine Yamal, the Spanish teenage sensation that many believe is the future of soccer. But take a look at this. The two have another link. They appeared in this photo shoot together from nearly 20 years ago. In 2007, Messi and other Barcelona players posed for a charity calendar shoot. And it just so happens that Messi was paired with Yamal. Yamal, who was only a few months old at the time. Now, the photographer says the raffle for the shoot was done in the neighborhood where Yamal's family lived at the time. And the family won, leading to this now viral photo. This weekend, the two are set to meet as rivals on soccer's biggest stage. That game is on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, right here on CTV, TSN, and Crave.
I do feel like the map of Canada looks unfinished. It's so detailed on the East Coast, and then it's just wide open spaces. It's almost like someone was working on it and they fell asleep.
A laughing matter. The Great Outdoors Comedy Festival returns to Winnipeg. We've got all the headliner details coming up next in Spotlight. Taylor Brock has your spotlight today, and people should get ready to laugh this weekend.
Well, John, I've been laughing all week, but this looks pretty interesting. The Great Outdoor Comedy Festival is making its return tonight, and some big stars are set to hit the stage.
But everything about Canada is pleasant. Even the Canadian flag. Most national flags have all these macho symbols like Mexico's an eagle eating a snake, America's stars and stripes, and Canada's just like, just put a leaf out there.
Grammy-nominated comedian Jim Gaffigan headlines tonight. Viral content creator John Christ and comic Ryan Hamilton will also be performing. Master of None and Parks and Rec star Aziz Ansari will co-headline tomorrow's lineup with SNL alum Pete Davidson. Closing out the festival Sunday night is Matt Rife. Tonight's show kicks off at 7:30 p.m. at Assiniboine Park. For ticket information, head to greatoutdoorscomedyfestival.com. John,
I was just going to say, I love Jim Gaffigan, and people who go, I've seen him live, it's going to be a great show.
I still say you should be up on that stage, John.
I'm an alternate. If someone backs out, I will be there.
I mean, you do have a busy night tonight.
We'll see what happens. Some sad news out of the entertainment world, especially for fans of the Home Alone series.
Oscar-winning actress Brenda Fricker has passed away.
People pass me in the street. They see me, but they try to ignore me.
Fricker appeared in more than 90 films and television shows over her 6-decade-long career, including as a homeless woman in Home Alone 2 and the mother in My Left Foot. It was that later role for which she won an Academy Award, making her the first Irish actress to do so. Her agent says Fricker died Thursday night in Dublin following a period of ill health. She was 81 years old.
Yeah, that's sad. The Force is with a new buyer.
That's right, John, and a new buyer with a lot of cash. One of the most famous props from the Star Wars film franchise has sold for a record-breaking price. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from The Empire Strikes Back has fetched $3.75 million at auction, tripling the $1 million pre-auction estimate. It sets a new record for a screen-used Star Wars prop. I don't know where that's going to go in your house, John, but good luck.
I've already got a good space for it, and let me tell you, it is worth every penny to me.
I believe it.
I think it's going to be great. She normally packs arenas and stadiums, but Shania Twain is set to take the stage in Toronto tonight in a more intimate venue.
That's right, John.
According to my mother, I'm the next Daniel Tucker.
Actually, John, it's the first time the country star is playing the iconic Horseshoe Tavern. As you probably know, Twain got her start performing in bars in Timmins and describes tonight's performance as a, quote, full circle moment. The catch is that the Horseshoe can only fit 500 people. Tickets went on sale Wednesday. They sold out immediately, which, of course, is probably no surprise.
That is not a surprise. I'm sure it'll be a really nice, intimate sort of performance. All right. Thanks, Taylor.
And tonight on CTV, Spring Break Murders delves into the disappearance of Natalie Holloway at 7. At 8, crime scene investigators uses surveillance video in a robbery-turned-murder case. And W5 Avery Haynes Investigates is on at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Right now, it is currently 26 degrees here in Winnipeg, feeling more like 33 with that humidity. Of note, in about 40 minutes, northbound Lage is going to shut down to drivers between Marion and Dugald. That is because of construction lasting until rush hour Monday morning.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, as we mentioned about 20 minutes ago, there is a thunderstorm rolling through Manitoba along the Saskatchewan border. I'll move to the side here so we can take a look. Now, not quite as severe as it was not too long ago, but there is still that chance that we could be seeing as much as 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall, including in areas like Roblin. We are expecting some strong winds and potentially hail as large as a tennis ball. This system, as it does push a little further to the east, the hail, if it falls, is expected to be much smaller, potentially toonie size at the largest. And further north, we are still under that air quality advisory due to wildfires in the area, as well as wafting from northwestern Ontario. So just use some extra caution for folks up in that region, as I'm sure you are. Taking a look over the next few hours, there is a chance we could be seeing some heavy rain. This system here is going to push through the province as we see a chance of scattered showers to the north. Here in Winnipeg, not likely. We're actually really expecting a clear night tonight. However, this system is going to potentially drop a whole lot of rain along the Saskatchewan border. Things, though, here in Winnipeg are looking quite clear over the next week. Actually, lots of sunshine is on the way and hot temperatures. We'll talk about that one in just a second. There is a chance on Saturday for a thunderstorm right along the Hudson Bay to the north here. So folks in Churchill might want to keep an eye on that one. And a low chance of some scattered showers, particularly around the Whiteshell area and possibly even Kenora into the evening on Saturday. I know we're watching this system here push through. There is no likelihood at this point that we are going to be seeing a severe thunderstorm coming from it. However, overnight into Sunday morning, a chance right in that very far southwest corner, some scattered showers. Tonight in Winnipeg, as mentioned, a clear sky with 17 degrees as the coolest it'll get. Tomorrow, hot, 30 degrees Celsius and very sunny, so not a bad day to hit the beach. And taking a look, as promised, over the next week, lots of sunshine. So make sure you have got those sunglasses handy, your sunblock, and maybe the AC, because temperatures are going to be hot on Sunday. This first Skywatch photo comes to us from Elm Creek, Manitoba. Thanks to Joan for sending in the photo that her granddaughter snapped. And this was Beverly's very scary view over in Russell. She snapped this shot of her father's truck, and I guess it's been a little while since he's used it. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Skywatch Weather Pick of the Day brought to you by Provivo, Winnipeg's first and only longevity medicine clinic. Redefining health, performance, and aesthetics. Provivo.com.
If you've ever tried to have a nice meal by the water, you know that seagulls can sometimes be an issue. Well, they've come up with a solution to this in Sydney, Australia.
There was skepticism about whether they would be successful or a gimmick, and since we've had the dogs, the feedback from everybody is tremendous.
The Opera Bar has hired a dog trainer to develop a program with working dogs to chase them away. The Seagull Patrol is getting rave reviews, and he says it's basically a science, harnessing their natural herding instincts to use them to chase the birds off instead. Now, I've heard that they've also done something similar in North America where they chase off those Canada geese so they don't leave their droppings. They don't hurt them, they just make them move away.
You were the one who told me they're protected.
They're protected.
And now you're telling me this, John?
But not from dogs. We'll see you guys at 6 o'clock. Hope you join us then.